So I'm sitting here with
Denisha Saucedo.
and she is a Regional Teacher of the Year for Puget Sound ESD. What number is that?
Oh my gosh.
I don't remember. That's okay.
Sorry.
All right. So we're in her classroom, and tell us what you teach.
I teach 6th grade, and I'm in the elementary setting, so I teach a lot of different subjects, but mainly right now I'm the ELA portion of the day.
Cool.
So,
And what's ELA?
English Language Arts.
Okay. And what school?
Kent Elementary.
Kent Elementary in Kent,
Yes.
Washington.
Yes.
Okay, so first, what is your greatest strength as an educator?
I think my greatest strength is building relationships with students and understanding who they are and what they need.
How do you do that?
Well, I talk to them. I get to know them from day one. I ask them about their experiences. I ask them what's difficult. I ask them what's easy. I don't just stick to, the rigorous curriculum, but I really just get in there and ask their opinion about everything. We do class meetings. They get to ask me questions. I ask them questions. We focus a lot on social emotional learning, and really they run our classroom. They
Cool.
do.
Cool. And so that's your strength. So
Yeah.
how do you know the impact?
I know the impact because of what they produce for me. I see the growth academically and independently. When they come in, they're still kind of 5th graders, kind of like, oh, but now I'm in 6th grade and I'm a little cool or whatever. And that's different at the end of the year. There's tears and there's reflective things that the students have given me to tell me that what I've done with them. They like to give me credit, and I like to tell them stop giving me credit. But, that makes you feel good, and it feels like, you know what, I made a difference. And even if I can't, necessarily change the fact that they still read below grade level, they've hit 2 or 3 years growth, and you know what? They've set and met numerous goals, and that's what's important, right? And they sometimes leave me just with things like the ability to push forward.
Yeah.
Not just, oh, I can, do my homework and I can be a good kid, but I can push myself to higher expectations. And that is what building those relationships are about.
So you mentioned goals,
Yes.
and I noticed when I came in that you guys were talking about goals.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about that in your classroom.
So there's several different things. Every day they set a goal. Every day they walk in, and they change the wording of it a little bit. Originally it was like, how are we going to make today great? And I think we've gone through some other wording, and they decided on how are we going to make today amazing. And so every day they walk in and they reflect and they say, how am I going to change the outcome of the day from the beginning? Like, how am I going to make sure that this day is amazing for everyone in my classroom? They like to look at each other as a little family. And so some of their goals are like, I'm going to give 5 compliments, or I'm going to ask and answer questions, which was one goal that a student had for today. Or I've seen things like, I am going to raise my hand before I speak, or I am going to, I'm trying to think of just some of the other ones that they give. They all have to do with other people, their interaction with others, and how to make today great. Some of the other things, though, is obviously we have academic goals. So I have a hoop up there, and they shoot for their goals, and essentially students have small goals and they have long-term goals. So it might be, I'm going to learn my sight words, or I am going to build my stamina for reading. I'm going to go home and make sure I read every night for so long, or whatever those academic goals that are going to get them to their long-term goals, which might be improving their reading level. So they're very specific, they're very smart, they're very obtainable, and they're set by them.
Cool.
And so we're very goal-driven. Every day, every week, we check in about our goals. It's all about them.
Cool. So what's one mistake you have made as an educator that impacted you as a teacher and that you carry with you even today?
Only one? No. So being a new teacher, I thought I had to teach the curriculum, and that you know, I knew I had to push my kids because that was the reason why I started teaching. But I didn't understand that I didn't have to follow necessarily a plan set for me by, you know, a curriculum-based program. That it had to fit the Washington State expectation of students should know how to cite evidence. But it didn't have to look the same for every student. It didn't have to necessarily reflect the answer key, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Right? I used to have the answer key with me. Yeah. Why? Right? Why? I don't need to see what the answer key says. Every student is going to say things in a different way that might actually make even more sense than the answer key. And you know, I understood the push, and that's the part that I regret, is I understood the push, but I didn't understand the how. And so I still had pushback from students. I feel like I didn't get. I started off by trying to build relationships, maybe not as much as I should have, because I was trying to learn the curriculum, you know, and it's not about that. First and foremost, obviously, you got to build those relationships, but know the standard and understand the standard, and then get your resources and try and figure out what's going to work with my kids. How can I switch it up a little bit? And what are the different many ways that they can show me that they understand this standard? And everyone in the room can look a little different. They don't all have to be doing the same thing. That was a big mistake. You know, I tried standing in front of the room and teaching, and then still trying to build those relationships. That doesn't work. I mean, I like to sit down with them. I move, I talk, they talk, I listen. They're wrong. It's okay. You know, and that's kind of the really big one that took me a while to figure out. And obviously they helped me figure that out.
Cool. Cool. Okay, so what is your message?
My message to educators is take a step back, watch your kids, listen to them, get to know them, but have high expectations for all of them. Don't just care about them, because we all do, right? But what you need to do is you need to believe that every single child in the room, no matter what their circumstances, they can do it. Whatever it is, they can do it. You know, I have third grade level readers who are reading a sixth grade text and getting something out of it. I'm not saying, oh, you know what, it's okay. You know, I have several students that are without they're considered homeless, and yet they're in here and they are right there with the other students that have home lives that would be considered less stressful, and they're right there. That's what they want. They don't want to be seen as helpless. They don't want to be seen as needy, because they're not. This is the one place where they can just even it out. I can try and not think about what's happening at home, and I can, you know what I tell my students to be greedy, because one day they're going to want to take a driver's license test. They're going to want to drive. They're going to want to get a job. And if you don't come to school and get that knowledge, then that's going to be harder. So give them that opportunity. Don't hold them back just because there are circumstances out of their control and out of ours that make things more stressful. So to educators, just, you are not the end all. What you say doesn't go. You know, you're an educator, you're a teacher, but you're learning too. And so just don't feel like you are managing kids and you are the teacher and you're in charge. If you step in front of a classroom like that, then why are they going to want to learn from you? You know, and to those that are making decisions, you got to get in the classroom. You have to come back and see. If you've ever been in a classroom, you probably have forgotten, because, you know, it's been so long. And these students are different, right? School's very different.
For sure.
Right? We are giving them the ability to think deeply that I know when I was in school, that wasn't an option. It was more like memorizing things. And so if you're a decision maker, you got to get in the classrooms and see what teachers are doing, and you got to see what students need and talk to them, because they will tell you what they need. And don't just go to one specific school. Get out to many different schools. And then don't assume that because it's happening in this school, it's happening in another school. Get out there, see what's going on. Make decisions based on our current students and not, you know, what you kind of think is happening. So that's
Cool. What about for community?
Community. Get in the classrooms. Yeah, my students they wrote letters to community members asking them to come in and to talk to them about their jobs, and they wrote to people that were important to them. So, for example, I had one student who wrote to more specifically to police officers that were women, because she thinks that a lot of times people don't think girls can be police officers because they're not, you know, strong enough or whatever. And so she wants her to come in and talk to her about those challenges and things because she wants to be a police officer someday. And so as a community member, you live somewhere, right? Get in those classrooms and show them your faces, show them how you all are different, show them that no matter what they look like, no matter where they come from, you can do this job. And so I would say for community, just take even if it's one day a year, just take a day and go visit a school and get in there and really connect.
Yeah. Does that go for parents too?
Oh gosh, yeah, because they are the community. So like for parents, you could get into your kid's school or you could go into another school.
Yeah.
But your kid's school is right there. Yeah. It's already, so get in there, and it doesn't matter what your job is. Every occupation needs someone to fill it. So it's not like we want doctors and lawyers and we want everyone. We want you in our classroom because our students need to see that there are so many things. We're not pushing on them any specific job. We are pushing happiness and success.
Yeah.
Right? So we want them, I tell them, selfishly, you are the ones that are going to be making decisions when I'm old. I want you to be making the right kind of decisions, and I need you to be happy.
Yeah.
I need you to be able to help our community grow, and that happens from happiness and success and things like that. So,
well, thank you for sitting with me today.
Thank you.
All right.